Welcome, everyone, to a brand new episode of my podcast. I have a few ideas of which direction I would like to take this podcast. It's just going to be me. All right. It's just only me doing this podcast. I've done several podcasts before where I had a host or several hosts, and trying to get everyone on the same schedule is just kind of a hassle. So just doing it by myself, I think will work. I think doing it by myself would probably be a lot easier, to be honest. Um, I have a very quirky way I want to do this. In my past podcasts I've tried running, I would just read off a list of facts and share my opinions. But I have ChatGPT here, and I have assorted these facts. I have listed them out, and I've told told ChatGPT to turn them into Dr. Seuss rhyming. And then after every single poem, I will share my thoughts on those facts. So it's gonna be sort of the same format. Okay, it's gonna be Dr. Seuss rhyming. I know it sounds pretty childish, pretty stupid. Hear me out. It's actually pretty good. It's pretty nice. Um, I also want to start each of these episodes with sharing a random word and give an explanation and use it in a sentence. Now, the first time I've told ChatGPT to help me explain this word, this is how it explained it. Okay, I'm going to show you how I did it at first, and I'm going to show you the way that I'm going to continue doing it. So the first word is Riz. I know a lot of people already know this word, but I literally looked up a list of brain rot words and Gen Z words. Okay, I'm just going down this list. So the first word was Riz. It's a term that refers to someone's charm or ability to attract a romantic partner. It's the game someone has when it comes to flirting or wooing others. If someone has a lot of riz, they are often successful at making a romantic connection. A person who possesses a high level of riz is sometimes called a rizzler. Here's an example sentence. Did you see how Jake was talking to Maria at the party? He's got some serious riz. She was laughing at everything he said. That's kind of, it's fine. It's fine. But then I told it to explain it to me like as if I'm five. And let me just read what it says. Riz is a funny word that means how good someone is making other people like them. Especially when it comes to being friends, or maybe even having a crush on someone. If someone has a lot of riz, it means that they can talk to others in a way that makes them smile and want to spend the time with them. Here's an example sentence. Tommy has a lot of riz because when he talks to people, they laugh at and want to play with him. To be honest, yeah, I'm going to do that more often. So, at the beginning of each of these episodes, the word of the day. So, the word of the day is Riz. Alright? Make sure you go out there, everyone. Make sure you use Riz at least once in your sentence. Riz or Rizzler. But, yeah. Alright, well, now that I've shared the word of the day, the first poem, alright, it's a conspiracy. It's about the black helicopters. And I don't want to, explain too much. I want the poem to explain it for me. So here we go. The tale of the black helicopter. In the sky, oh so high, where the clouds go by, flies a chopper that's black. It's a secretive guy. Some say it's a symbol of things gone astray, of conspiracies hidden far, far away. It all began in the 70s, they say, with Cattle that vanished, strange things that lay. People looked up, and what did they spy? A black helicopter up in the sky. They whispered, "What's this? What's going on here? Is it government spies? Or a thing we should fear?" They thought it was UFOs coming to land, or soldiers on missions to take command. Some say it's the military flying with might to keep watch on the ground all day and all night. With radar and GPS, so slick and so smooth, they'd fly in the dark with nothing to prove. Now there were books about it, full of strange things, with talk of the world where the helicopter sings. Jim Keith wrote them down, with chapters so thick, of black choppers flying so fast and so quick. But the truth is much simpler, though tales are so grand. Helicopters black are just part of the land. The police, the army, they all have their say. They use black helicopters in their own special way. Some fly for customs to catch those who cheat. Others fly high with missions to complete. They fly through the night with no lights on their way, and the people below just wonder and say, "Are they hiding something? Are they up to no good? Are they spies in disguise? Or misunderstood?" But the black helicopter, it's just part of the air, doing its job with no need for despair. So next time you see a shadowy fly by, don't jump in conclusion or question the sky. It's just another chopper, so sleek and so black, doing its work and then flying back. So as you could probably tell, this poem is about the black helicopter conspiracy, where like, yeah, after like some kind of weird thing would happen, there'd be a black helicopter flying around, and like, there's even some people who've claimed that the black helicopter is spying on them. That is a noisy machine to be spying on you with. The fact that you spotted it means it did not do its job. The fact that you could like look up in the sky and be like, "Oh, look up there. There it is. It's right there." Like, you'd think they would like blend it in, right? Like, black is the one thing that's going to stand out the most in the sky. Unless it's at night, then okay. But most of these people, they're seeing these black helicopters in the day. And that's going to be counterproductive, right? You shouldn't you shouldn't be able to see them. I think another one is like the black vans. Seeing a black van outside your house, like, "Oh, it's the feds." They don't need to do that. Especially nowadays. If you believe that black helicopters and black vans are the way the government spies on you, you are so painfully mistaken. They can do that through your phone. They can do that through your phone. They can easily spy you. Most of the time, they don't even have to spy on you. They can just buy your data straight out. A lot of these companies that you use, Facebook, Google, you think they're being fair with your data? No. Give me a break. They don't need to send no like machinery to your house. They can just get it online, like everyone else, like all the other companies do. All right, this one is, so the last one was a conspiracy. This one is going to be of a mythology, a mythos. It is called Alfido, the Flower Queen. All right. A long time ago, in days old and bright, there lived a strange being with hair pure white. Alfido was her name, you see, a spirit of flower as soft as can be. The nursemaids would whisper in voices so small, "Behave or Alfido will come and call. She's scary, she's strange, and she'll make you cry. So don't be too naughty or you'll see her fly." But Alfido's more than a spooky old tale. She's not just a boogeyman who makes you wail. Her hair was white, like soft flour in snow, and she helped with the crops that helped food grow. They called her the Corn Mother. Yes, indeed. She made barely she made barley grow strong and filled every seed. Some thought she was like Demeter, some kind, or Persephone. I think I mispronounced that word. Persephone. Persephone. With nature in mind. Alphedo's not just a ghost or a fear. Her name comes from flowers soft and clear. But in some old stories, her whiteness is scary, like snow so cold or a ghost who's hairy. What the fuck? A ghost who's hairy. Nice. Her white hair was like snow on the hill. It shone so bright it gave you a chill. She lived in the mountains high in the air, where the snow stayed forever everywhere. But don't be so but don't be too scared. She's not all bad. Her stories just made the children feel sad. Her white hair and flower are sweet and pure. A goddess of grains, that's for sure. So next time you bake and the flowers in sight, think of Alphedo with her soft hair so white, a spirit of wheat with snow in the air. Flour and grains are here her gift to share. Sorry for mispronouncing so much of that. So Alphedo is kind of interesting, in my opinion, that you have like all of these nursemaids who are just kind of like, "Ooh, Alphedo," and the children are like, oh no, what's Alphedo gonna do? She'll bring good gifts." Like, what? I'm sorry, what? Pass that by me again. What? Good gifts? Like making sure the crops grow. Woo! What? Crops grow? What? What are you talking about? I think back then it was just kind of like the to go to. If you wanted your kids to obey, you scared them. I'm going to do that. But like, if I ever have a kid, like, well, first of all, I have to find someone that I can trick into marrying me. But like, if I ever had a kid, I'm going to do that. I'm going to scare him. It's like it's like what's that called? Mental abuse? No, but like, I'm going to use like the boogeyman as an effective tool. It's like, you better like you know how like parents lie about, you know, a lot of things now that I think about it. But like, they use like mythologies to like kind of reward kids for being good. At some point, we like collectively just decided, you know, maybe we should not actively scare our kids. And it's like, no, the boogeyman's real. The boogeyman's real. He's under your bed. If you try getting out of your bed, he's gonna grab you. He's gonna take you away. You better be asleep, or the boogeyman's gonna get you. And that was kind of like the to go to, and I think Alphedo was supposed to be that, because it says right here, the nursemaids would whisper in voices so small, "Behave, or Alphedo will come and call. She's scary, she's strange, and she'll make you cry. So don't be too naughty, or you'll see her fly." So like, yeah, Alphedo was definitely a spirit to kind of like be spooky to scare kids. But at the same time, Alphedo was also like the Corn Mother, as it says here. They call her the Corn Mother. Yes, indeed. She made barley grow strong and filled every need. So she was like, she was she was a good omen, but yet nursemaids were like, oh, but like, whoa, she's not. Ooh, be careful. She's kind of tricky. All right, next little poem. Here we go. So this one is called Rock Eaters. No, they're not. This one is a nerd fact that I've had it turn into a poem. So, This is from Dungeons and Dragons, and sorry, I have like these hiccups. But yeah, this is from Dungeons and Dragons, and I think this one's going to be a pretty nice, a pretty cool to share. All right, Rock Eaters, no, they're not. There once was a book on. Let me start that again, and this time, act like I know how to read. There once was a book, oh what a delight! It told a grand tale, set wrongs to right. A high elf wrote it, with quill in hand, to clear up a myth that had long filled the land. They eat only rocks, the fair folks who said, chewing on pebbles with crumbs on their head. But the elf took a trip, went deep down below, to see for themselves if this tale was so. Down into Dorn's deep, a citadel grand, where dwarves built wonders by skillful hand. No soot on the floors, no dirt in the air, just halls full of treasures and dwarves everywhere. They feasted on meats, on breads, and on stew. Not a single stone was found in their brew. They toasted with ale, so foamy and bright, and welcomed their guests with laughter that night. The elf was in awe, but still held their pride. The Telquizier's wonders stand tall worldwide. Yet even as they saw dwarven might, they chose not to start an elven dwarf fight. The, the book was then written, with pages well worn, from times long before the citadel was torn. By 1281 the hall stood still, with ghostly dwarves haunting the ruins at will. But deep in the library, what did remain? A copy of this book, still clear and plain. A tale of a visit, a lesson well taught. The Rock Eaters? No, they are not. So, I love that. I love that in Dungeons and Dragons, the common folk at one point believed that the dwarves eat rocks. It's like that's their substance. The boulders, the rocks, the pebbles, the boulders, the rocks, and like it was such a common belief that an elf had to just be like, all right, that does it, I'm heading down there, I'm gonna find out, and it had to write a book. Like, nah, we're wrong. They don't. They eat bread and stew. Oh, okay. So you're telling me they don't eat rocks and boulders? Nah. Now, I love it though. I love that despite how like a lot of DMs that I've come across, they have their own original story, and I love it. Okay, it's fun. But I love that there is like a canon story. Like there is a canonical, like there's like a whole, like Forgotten Realms. Like there's a whole thing, right? And what do they call it? It's like a player's journal? No. It's like a play guide. It's another way of saying a module. So Wizards of the Coast released these books, and they're like modules. A player's book? I think it's a player's book. Anyways, so in these books, they act like modules where it's like, oh, you got to follow this along and follow the quest, and these are the things that happen, and here's all the puzzles. It's just step by step on how to run the game. But like, those are canon. Those are canon stories. And I think there's even like Dungeons and Dragons books that are canon to the lore. But like, I love that. I love that Dungeons and Dragons has a canon story to it. It's just, I don't know. I do love seeing people's like original stories that they make. Some good, some not. But it I respect the effort. Even though half the time. So, okay. All right, let me clear this up real quick. There is a term called a world breaker, and that's usually given to toxic players, and it's a term given to me. And it's mostly given to me because I can kind of figure out who the main villain is pretty much right off the bat. And I have to now sit here because I'm trying not to metagame. I'm trying not to like influence my character with the knowledge that I have currently and just be like, oh, that's the main villain. And like you can tell when the DM hates you by how quickly they try to kill your character, but also um when they ask what makes you think that. When you hear that, or especially when I hear that, when a DM goes, like if I go, oh, so that's the villain, right? And the DM goes, huh, what makes you think that? It's like, oh, I don't know. Probably the way he's talking to us. Maybe it's because of his connections. And also perhaps because you just asked me that is why now I know it's him. And here's another term. It's called hobo killing. It's when you essentially kill an NPC and there's no actual loot involved. But every single time, and I do mean every single time I've ever said, I think that's the villain, and the DM goes, what makes you say that? And I just go, well, there's one way to find out. And I stab them, and they die. Somehow the quest ends. Huh? That was weird. Looks like I won. He was the villain, and the DM didn't think I was going to guess it that quickly, and didn't make a character sheet for that villain. And so he was just a regular NPC in his book. So I stabbed him, and he died. Now, of course, I'm not saying I do that every time. It's just I have to now sit here and pretend to like not know who the main villain is, even though I have essentially assumed who the main villain is right away. Right away, I have zoned into, yeah, it's this person. Now, okay. I have played in games where the main villain is kind of like mentioned who it is right off the bat. And I love those kinds of games half the time because there's no hiding it. It's like, oh yeah, the main villain is the king on top of Mount Doom and the king's a lich. And it's like, oh, okay. But then the DM is just kind of like, you could try finding him now, but you're most likely you're gonna die unless you find this thing that's a legend and you don't know where it is. And it's like, okay, I have to like now figure out where this thing is to stop the evil king. Perfect. It gives me incentive to look for it. But like, if you're trying to make the villain a secret, and I'm over here going, oh, the villain's a secret, huh? You're saying that it's either the leader of the city, the mayor of the city, or just saying the priest of the city. It's always one of those three. It's always one of those three. It's I've never been in a campaign, and now once I say it, it's most likely going to happen now. But I've never been in a campaign where the villain was a nobody, right? I've never been in a Dungeons and Dragons campaign where the DM made the villain a nobody. Now that would have been interesting. If like the cliche is everyone assumes it's going to be the king, the priest, the mayor, the leader, some kind of leader, some kind of rich guy, some kind of leader. We're looking for someone who's got resources. But like, what if it's just literally the homeless guy, the guy that doesn't interact with the players? They've noticed him maybe once or twice, but not really. It's a character that fades into the background that no one ever thinks about. And then as they're getting closer to the end of the story, that guy starts making more appearances, but like in a group. Like not just, oh, he's now becoming more, you're noticing that homeless man more and more. No, no, no. What if like the king is like increasing taxes and all these people are starting to go homeless, right? And you start to see more and more that he's starting to blend in with them. Everyone's going to think it's the king. No one's going to ever expect it's the homeless guy. No one's ever going to expect that the guy that's a nobody is the villain. The guy that has nothing going on is the villain. Now that would be actually pretty interesting, because it would, like, I personally I would never would have guessed. I would be like 100% zoned in on the king, not the. Anyways, I've now noticed I've spoken way too much about this. I don't know how long I want to make these episodes. For the first episode, of course, it's going to be not as long as the other ones. I've only done 3 fun facts, word of the day. I shared my thoughts on some of them. Maybe not as thorough of thoughts as the later on episodes will be, but it's just to see how everyone likes this kind of format, and I'll most likely will add more segments as I keep doing these. And by the way, at the end of the podcast, feel free and go into the comments section and make a request of what you would like to hear me talk about next. Anything. Literally anything. Just name a fact. I'll do my research, turn it into a Doctor Who poem, read it out loud, share my thoughts. And like every single one of these podcasts will be premiered. So that way we could all hang out in the comments, we could all chat. The schedule for these episodes will be every single Sunday around night-ish. I'm always worried about like setting a time, because it will lock me in. I'll set the day as Sunday for sure. When Sunday, I'm not sure. Sometime at the night. But here's the thing. When I schedule these to go live or to be premiered on Sunday, there will be a time. Like, it'll say at what time it will be. So yeah, you'll be able to see when these are about to go live. It'll give you a time and a day. So even though I don't know which time it will be on Sunday, just know that I'll try to like schedule these a couple of days in advance so that you can see, oh, it'll be Sunday at this time, because that's how YouTube does it. Okay. I think this has been a fun experiment. I cannot wait to make more of these. And like I said, I will definitely come up with more segments as I make more of these. And definitely feel free and ask me questions, or ask me, give me ideas. Oh no, come on, what am I thinking of? Oh my god. Fun facts. I'll look them up. Give me subject and I'll look them up. I don't know why I struggle to think of that. My brain decided to stop braining. I was trying to say, go in the comment section and give me fun fact suggestions and I'll look them up. And I'm over here like dead ass going, ask me questions, ask me this. No, what the fuck? What? No, what? Sorry. I super duper brain fart, okay? I feel like I have not recorded a full hour I feel like this is most likely going to be. You know what? Yeah, I'm gonna also start having a timer with me so I could see how long I've been recording for. That's another thing. I don't know how long this one is because I have not been timing it. That's kind of on me. My bad. I probably should have been timing this so I could see how long I've been going. Um, a part of me just kind of wants to like, because I can see it's at 6:42 p.m. Of recording this, and that part of me is like, what if you just wait until 7? What if you just like, Irm, I don't know, keep going, because I ran out of things to talk about. Is the problem. All right, well, it's 6:42. I think. Okay. I will share two stories, two stories about my life, and I think that will make me feel more comfortable ending the podcast after that, because at least that way I could be like, well, I did my best, and if it goes above an hour, that's perfectly fine, as long as it's not below an hour is all I care about. So, two stories. The first story is something I don't remember about my life. My sister told me this story, and this was like when I was a baby. When I was a little baby, and my sister had these like dolls, and the clothes were big enough to fit me. Like these were like the big dolls, okay? And so my sister dressed me up in girls' clothes from her dolls. And so her and her friend would like dress me up as a girl, and they would put me in a baby carriage, and they would like walk me around like that. And she would like tell people that like I was her baby sister. And people are like, oh my goodness, look at you. And she's like, oh yeah, this is my baby sister. And that was funny to them. And like, my sister's cracking up laughing about this, telling me. And she was all like, yeah, like, I tell people that you were my baby sister all the time. And like, I guess there was a couple of times when, and she was like, she thought I'd be mad about that. No, I love this story. I love this. I absolutely love it. Um, and there was a couple of times when like people would come up and like, oh, is this your baby sister? And like every so often she'll be like, no, this is my baby brother. And they'd be like, oh, oh no, why did you do that to him? No, I love that. I think that's awesome. She dressed me up in girls' clothes and said I was a female. It was awesome. All right, that's story number one. Uh, because this next story, I only have bits and pieces of it in my memory, I'm going to actually add another story in there to sort of like make up for it. The first one I can remember, my very first memory I could remember. Uh, there was this cat. I don't remember whose cat it was, but it was like under the baby carriage. And like, here's the thing, I I can remember. I can in fact remember that far back, but like not full complete memory. Kind of like photographs, right? Like as if I'm looking at a photograph. Um, and I remember there was this cat, and I kept reaching out to the cat. I don't know why, but my dumbass was just like trying to like reach out and grab the cat. I don't know. I don't know why. And the cat was not having it, and it was hissing at me. And I'm a toddler. I don't know any better. And it scratched me. and the nail got caught in my finger. And I was like, "Ha! What? It grabbed me." My thought was it grabbed me. And so I start crying, and my mom came out, and she's like, "What happened? What happened?" And I looked at my finger, and like the skin looked like little threads, and I don't know why, but I distinctly remembered one of my toys had gotten damaged, and my mom sewed it up with the little strings, and I thought that I was like a toy, that like because my skin looked like little ribbons, like little strings, that I thought I was manufactured somehow. And that like that gave me dread. Like that gave me a level of dread where like it turned on my consciousness. Like at that very moment I was alive. And I was like, am I not real? And it was just enough dread to kind of like turn the on switch in my subconsciousness on. All right. The next memory. I don't remember when this took place, but I used to watch everything. Like I would like watch people do things just to see how it works. And I remember this is of course before I could speak words. And I people just kind of sounded like Sims characters, like Bajiga Balda, Yavada Sabolda. Like I don't know what you're saying, but like I remember, uh, and like my mom can vouch for this story. That's how I know it's a real memory. But so I remember watching how the lights worked because they were touching the wall, and something they were doing made lights turn on, right? Like room dark, they touch something, room no longer dark. And like that's how my brain worked. Like it was more like the language in my head was of action and of like cause and effect and kind of like images. Like if you can imagine drawing an image and that represents something, that's what was going on in my head. So like I would have the image of hand wall, dark room light room dark, hand wall some question hand wall something. Like that's how my brain worked. And so I watched them, and one day I was like kind of following them around, and I watched them touch the wall, and I was like, okay, there's something there. And when the hand were moved, I saw a little thing, and I was like, how did I not notice that there? And there was like little squiggly lines. I was like, okay. And I would wait for them to like do it again, turn it off, and the squiggly lines changed. I was like, oh my goodness, that's fascinating. So if the longer squiggly lines are there, that means light off. If the shorter squiggly lines are there, that means light on. So I tested my hypothesis. I went on my tippy toes and I reached up there and I got it. And the lights came on. I was so proud of myself. I was like, oh, I did it. And so I wanted to see if it would work with the rest of the house. And I kept doing it. And all the lights came on. And my mom started yelling. And I don't know what she said, but my mom remembers this, and she told me what she said. She started telling everyone to turn off all the lights. And everyone was like, what are you talking about? And she goes, someone here turned all the lights on. And I told my mom, like, oh, that was me. Like, years and years and years and years later, I finally told her, like, oh, that was actually me. She goes, what do you mean that was you? I was like, yeah, I was watching you guys flip the switches, and I would go through the house turning them all on. And so she goes, you can remember that? I'm like, oh, you know, I can remember that. And she goes, why'd you do it? And I was like, well, at first, at first it was just to see if I can do it. And then seeing how mad you got was the incentive I needed to keep doing it. Seeing you like turn off all the lights, don't turn them on and leave them on. I was like, oh hell yes, I have to do this every day now. And she goes, yeah, no, I vividly remember that because that drove me nuts for 3 weeks straight. Somebody kept doing it. I was like, yeah, that was me. And, and she was like yelling at my dad and my sister because she was convinced it was one of them. And they didn't know who it was. They thought it was her. And so for 3 weeks, I had caused discord amongst them where they were just yelling at each other, trying to figure out who was turning the lights on. It was me. I was the culprit. And I told her. I confessed. But like almost 25 years later, you know, maybe give or take 2 years. Here's another early. I don't have a lot of early memories, but another early memory that I have is it was October, and my mom was making pumpkin seeds. She loves pumpkin seeds, or I think she does. I know at one point she did, but I don't know if she does anymore. And there was a movie playing on the TV, and it was Night of the Living Dead. And I remember kind of like, because my mom and dad, they usually watched the news. So I saw the Night of the Living Dead, and I was like tripping out on it because I thought it was happening. I thought that was actually occurring, and I kept like looking at her like, "Are you seeing this shit? Are you seeing this? Is this happening? Is this real? Could we help them? Should we be concerned? Are they coming here? Like the people, are they like, I didn't understand what zombies were." And my mom's all like, "Oh, is that scaring you?" I'm like, "No, not even. But like, we should probably lock the door just to be on the safe side." And then there's a scene where they're eating the other person. I was like, "Oh my god. Oh my god. Is this happening? You're seeing this, right? Like this is wild." And no, I couldn't at that age. I couldn't like separate what was fiction, what was reality. So I just took it all in as this is happening right now. This is real. Another movie I did that with was the movie The Fog, and that's about, if you don't know what The Fog's about, it's about pirates, ghost pirates to be more exact, and they can only exist in the fog. And so for a good amount of time I was afraid of the fog because I didn't want the ghost pirates to get me. It's a good movie. If you haven't seen The Fog, it's a phenomenal film. It's just I was scared. Another one was I'm a little scared of it to this day. A little scared of it to this day. But in the movie Resident Evil, I got to see that when it first came out. And there's that scene where the elevator crashes. And so for like a good long while, my mom and myself were petrified to go in elevators. We did not trust elevators after seeing that. And I'm still kind of a little on edge about elevators, to be honest. I'm still a little like, I kind of don't trust them. Did you ever see Resident Evil? Yeah, that's what I'm afraid of. Same thing with like what's that movie called? Dreamcatcher? Is that what it's called? with the little snake aliens. And there's this scene where the alien comes out the butt, out the end, the exit, the human exit, and it's in the toilet, and it's just a little entity in the toilet, and because of that, I'm scared of that. I don't think there's an alien that's gonna come out of me, but I'm definitely scared of toilet entities. I definitely am scared of toilet entities. I'm scared of toilet entities, and I'm scared of reflections. I don't like mirrors. I don't like reflections. Okay, I fully believe that the mirror, there's something spooky about the mirror. I don't know why, but reflections are not my friends. And I'm scared of monsters in the wall, like entities that live in the wall that try to grab me and pull me into the wall. I'm terrified of that. I'm also terrified of like the dark. It's confession time, everyone. Confession time. I'm terrified of the dark because like, oh my god, especially last night. Oh my god. So my hat is on my tripod, right? And I had a lovely, delightful nightmare where where I was freaked out, and when I woke up, I thought there was like a skinny demon like hunched over staring at me when I'm sleeping, and it like snapped me awake, and I realized it was just my hat on the tripod, and I was just like, this is why I don't like the dark, because my brain will instantly play tricks on me in the dark. And here's another one. I don't like it when the door is slightly cracked open, because like my brain will tell me, hey, wouldn't it be freaky if you saw like half a person's face and like their eyeball staring at you from the crack of the door? Wouldn't that be kind of cool? And like I would just, like, currently my door's cracked open right now, and I just checked. And I'm like, thanks. No, I'm loving that. I'm loving it. No, thank you. Spiders, petrified of spiders. At one point, I wasn't as scared of spiders. And then my mom rented from Blockbuster Arachnophobia, the movie Arachnophobia. And fun fact, the movie Arachnophobia gave me arachnophobia. It's about these spiders that don't die from, conventional means. Like you could spray them with spider poison and it just makes them stronger. And they're people eaters. They eat people. And then my little brain, the same brain that thought Night of the Living Dead and Dreamcatcher and The Fog were documentaries, saw Arachnophobia and went, oh fuck yeah, that's real. And gave me arachnophobia. And to this day I have arachnophobia. So yeah, all good memories. All good memories. It's 7 o'clock now. It is currently 7 o'clock p.m. Let me know if you like me telling you at what time it is that I'm recording this. I'll give you one final memory, and then also let me know if you wish to hear me talk more about my life, my quirky, kooky life. Why I can remember it still. I remember, I'm trying to think of like the earliest memories. Okay, here's kind of an early memory. So I've always loved Batman. Always loved Batman. I had a Batman tent. Oh yeah, I had a tent that was Batman. Okay, I had a Batman bed. I'm not talking like Batman bed sheets. No, I mean a bed frame that was a Batmobile. I slept in a genuine Batmobile. It was cool. I had Batman pajamas, okay? And every year I would dress up as, you guessed it, Superman. No, I'm kidding. I dressed up as Batman. And here's the thing, I never took the cape off. So I wouldn't wear the costume so often, but that cape, yeah, that went with me everywhere. Um, and like people would be like, "You should take the cape off." I'm like, "You should get one. They're cool." And so, yeah, no, everywhere I went, I do mean everywhere, to the store, to the park. I always had that cape, and I just liked how it felt. Like I just enjoyed having it. I thought capes were super cool. And I hate to admit it, but I still kind of feel that way. I still kind of feel like capes are really cool. Especially now that I'm a history buff. Like throughout history, capes are like kind of a big deal. And I don't understand why society has decided that capes are creepy, but like, dude, they're awesome. They're so cool. And when I was a kid, I was just obsessed with them. And so, you know, every year I would dress up as Batman. I had everything Batman related. And I would just wear the Batman cape everywhere I went. And then, just make things funny, I also had a Green Lantern lantern. And oh my god, right. And I also had like a Batman raincoat that I want to wear all the time. And my mom would be like, "You can't wear that. It's not raining outside." I'm not wearing it because I'm afraid it's going to rain outside. I'm wearing it because it's Batman. Like, here's the thing. If you had, let's say, gotten me a some kind of Batman pencil, I would want to write with that pencil. And I think at some point we kind of did get something like that from me when I was a kid. It was like a pen, but I would write with it because it's Batman related. Okay. Anyways, it's now 7:04. I'm pretty sure I've been recording for a full hour. I'll find out after I hit stop recording. But the episode 2 will definitely be an hour because I'll have a timer to, not a timer, but like a stopwatch or something, just to like show me how long I've been recording for. And I hope everyone enjoyed this episode, the first episode, the pilot. Make sure you go into the comments at the end of this to write down, type out, message me what kind of facts you would like me to turn into Dr. Seuss, and you don't have to just give one, by the way. You do a couple. I feel pretty confident in saying that, like, I don't think a lot of people are gonna give suggestions on the first episode. So feel free, make a couple suggestions, and I hope to see either all of you, or bring your friends, bring everyone to the next episode, so that we can all chat it up, so we can have like a fun, good time in the live chat during the premiere. All right, until next time, everyone.